Hey guys, I promised you a bedtime story. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody who who read the crossover collection and who supported us. It was really insane that we all managed to make USA Today. That's like a real accomplishment, and I want to thank everybody. It was kind of a project I'd wanted to do for a long time, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So, without further ado, we will start. So this is from Protected. I wanted to do a part of Protected that basically Geneva Harris is her name, is our heroine's name. And she's from Wade's hometown. Wade is the hero. So Jenny comes up and she needs a job. There's a receptionist job opening since Sadie got rescued. So she goes in to try to get the receptionist job. Well, unfortunately, Charlotte is also trying to get Ian an assistant. And so Geneva ends up with that. And this is kind of how that goes. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. She wasn't alone. Her boss is Ian, by the way, because I realized in here I don't say his name. I mean, you would get it from the sarcasm, so I guess it's all contextual. Her boss occupied the entrance to her cubicle, his massive body damn near blocking out the light. He was frowning and holding a file folder. You want to explain to me why you completely screwed up my filing system? His deep voice nearly sent her into a panic. I thought it made more sense to file it alphabetically, sir. It doesn't make sense to me. I like it the other way. Put it back. She took a deep breath and was about to nod when she remembered what Wade had told her. If she didn't start standing up for herself, she would always be this person, good and kind and marginalized. It wasn't fair that the world was a fight, but it was true, and she had to deal with it. She could be strong, or she could let asshole men walk all over her. No. A brow rose over his eyes. Excuse me? She stood up, going toe-to-toe with the man. Sure, he had a foot and a half on her, but she wasn't going to let that stop her. It was time. She could make her stand, and she would either get the relationship with her boss she wanted, or she would find another job. No more compromise. No more getting through the day simply to survive. She wanted more out of life, and she would never get it if she didn't make it for herself. Take it for herself. I said no. Do you know why I redid your client files? Because the way you have them is ridiculous. His eyes went steely. I have them in the order in which I worked them. Their timeline proper. I don't know your timeline. No one who is going to need those files knows your timeline. And some of them overlap. Some clients have hired you more than once. He glared at her like she'd made his point for him. That's why they have two files. Which is redundant and silly, because what happens if the person who retrieves the file doesn't know you're an OCD crazy person who's a slave to the timeline? Alphabetic is the only way to go. And in the meantime, I'm going to rename every file so it corresponds to the actual name of the client or person of interest. Crazy Dr. Lady Aaron Murdered is not a proper file name. Neither is Douchebag Collective Agent My Wife Blew Up. She was going now, gaining some real steam. And while we're at it, you know, for a dude who plays the badass, you have a lot of women saving people in here. Taggart's eyes never left hers. Did you not see the file I marked asshole Russian mobster I knifed? And for your information, I'm planning several future murders. Those files are coded in pink because they haven't gone red yet. He was insane. I think all future murders should be in a different place. Maybe all future files with future murder plans should be kept in a more secure location so you don't tip off the people you're planning to murder. Have you thought of that? No. You were too busy trying to figure out a way to get rid of the new girl. Well, guess what? I need this job. So, my dog just ran in. She doesn't get the whole thing. Okay, I was really building up Stephen there. Hold on. I need this job. So you will get rid of me in a body bag. And I promise I won't go down as easy as that asshole Russian mob guy. I will bleed all over your precious carpet. And when I'm gone, I'm coming back as a fucking ghost. And I will make your life miserable. I will wake you up from every nap. You know how you like to spend an hour in the bathroom every morning? Yeah, I already know all about that. My ghost is going to make bathroom time unbearable. You'll crap as fast as you can so you can get away from me. Do I make myself clear? His eyes narrowed, and she was sure she was going to get kicked out. Wade would be upset with her. She would have to find another job. It would be totally worth it because she wasn't putting up with assholes anymore. And then he smiled, a glorious expression that lit up his face and made him seem even younger. You're totally mean. I like you. You know it's wrong to threaten to disrupt a man's bathroom time. I got 3 kids and a dog. None of them respect privacy. This office is the only place where I get to be alone. Then there was room for negotiation. Good. Then I promise to be a Valkyrie guarding the bathroom door when you need me to. That is sacred time and space, and I will defend it from children, wives, and encroaching CIA special ops team. And in exchange, I get to make these files something a sane person can understand. He seemed to think about it for a moment. Okay. I'm beginning to see the pros of having an assistant. And I get to read them. Not because I'm CIA, but because I'm bored. And I honestly want to know how your wife blew up that dude. He nodded. It was cool. His parts went all over the Arabian Sea. I like to think about him in the bowels of some shark. Deal. And if I ever find out you're a CIA plant, I get to kill you and you don't get to come back as a ghost. She held out her hand. I think we can safely make that bargain. He shook her hand. Welcome to the team, Harris. Oh, are you serious? We get to keep her? Charlotte Taggart was standing a few feet away, an expectant look in her eyes. Sorry to interrupt. Hutch came and told me you were about to get rid of another one. So that's where Hutch had gone. Taggart let go of her hand and held one out to his wife. This one claims she'll come back if I murder her, so she's not going anywhere. She's rude and called me a moron. She's pretty much perfect. We're going to get along just fine. I also think she's a little bloodthirsty, so she's going to fit in. Now, Harris, I'm going to need you to do that Valkyrie thing we were talking about. You're going to spend some afternoon bathroom time? It was weird, but she was going to go with it. He tugged on his wife's hand. Well, there's probably going to be anal involved, so I think it should count. Ian, Charlotte said, but she was laughing. He handed Jenny the file in his hand. You can file this one, too. Seriously, no one gets in this office. She held the folder. I'll make sure of it. He disappeared with his wife as she watched the blinds close, heard the lock click into place. Hutch popped back up over the cubicle wall. Dude, you handled that perfectly. So what were we talking about? He winked. I think it was kisses. She rolled her eyes and laughed as she sank down into her chair. She glanced down at the folder in her hand and suddenly kind of loved her new boss. Dick, who hurt Wade's chick and is going to die. It was coated pink. She sniffled a little because she finally might have found a place where she belonged. So, sorry about, we knew it was Ian, so there was going to be a lot of cussing. So Stacy, I hope your kids were not in the car listening during rush hour, because they might have to ask you some weird questions. Yeah. Yeah, it's from Protected. I'm looking back to make sure I didn't miss any questions I needed. Protected is coming out July 31st. I think it's going to be a fun book. It'll tell you a lot about that. You've already seen their wedding if you want read close cover, but this will tell you how they got there. So thank you all, and I hope you'll have a good night.